Jab, what's going on? Johnny D, what's up? Frosty Rock, good to see everybody. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday. Good to see you. April is officially here, so that means we are all about taking action. What's up, Denise? What's up, Sleepy Willow? What's going on? So good to see you, Tanya. Good to see you. What's happening, everybody? So give me a shout out. Let me know where you're checking in from. It is April. April is our month of action and accountability. So we're going to start off this month right, being accountable, checking in, and letting it be known that we are taking action on some particular thought and aspect of life. That's what April is all about. It's all about moving forward, all about taking action so that in this month of time, you and I will see transformation in our life, right? We all have opportunities to grow. And so, with that in mind, this month is about going to the next level, whatever that next level looks like in your life. So, one of the things that we are going to do this month, one of the things that will be available is apart from doing the lives, I'm going to be doing some small group coaching sessions. So you'll have an opportunity to be a part of small group coaching sessions if you want to go to another level in terms of accountability and interaction and really being able to dial in with your goals for this month. So that'll be an opportunity. There will be a cost attached to it, but listen, the investment is a small drop in the bucket for what is going to be produced out of your life. So that'll be something. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Our schedule for the month will be, we'll be here basically Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We won't really be together on those days, but Monday through Thursday we'll definitely be together and be rolling from there. I just had like a small little tragedy a second ago. So I'm dealing with these baby chicks, and so I have a cage, like these big, kind of like steel cage, like a steel cage over top. And so I was moving it around, and like the cage dropped down on one of the chicks, and so I thought I killed it. I was like, oh my gosh! It started squawking, so I thought I killed the little baby, but it didn't. But it is a little hurt. I saw it like limping. So right before I did this, right before I jumped on live, I was like tending to her. So I'm gonna go back in a few moments and kind of like just assess her, see what's going on, so I can take care of her because I thought I killed her. So I was like, oh man. So I was like, man, that's kind of rough. But she's all right, and so hopefully I'll be able to nurse her back to health and wellness, and hopefully she'll make it through. So that'll be something I'll be dealing with for a little bit tonight, and then tomorrow I actually have an opportunity to. I'm going to be taking the chicks out. Ironically enough, I'll be taking the chicks out to go to a preschool. So I'm going to a preschool tomorrow and be working with kids that are like 5 and under. So I'll take the chicks out there, and they'll be able to have an experience with the chicks and have that kind of experience. So it's cool to be able to get out into the community. And like I said, I told you all that I want to impact. My goal is 20 schools in this month, 20 new schools. So tomorrow is school number 1, and have some meetings set up with some administrators from other schools throughout the month already. So going for it, right? We set our goals, we're aiming for our goals, and then we're going for it, being accountable, working towards it, and really pushing towards it. This weekend has been a productive weekend, right? Where I've been able to do some coaching and training, executive coaching, and helping people get clarity on their vision, and so it's been an awesome weekend. Listen, I told you, April, we're going at it tough, right? It's not just about just talking about what you want to accomplish, but really it's about taking action. So hopefully today you've taken some step towards that place where you want to go. Hopefully you have said, all right, I told myself I was going to, be healthier. I look, I got them all up. I got them on the board, the ones that we've written down, people that shared their visions, right? They put them up, right? finishing the semester strong, getting the book written, doing whatever you're doing, I encourage you, get out a sticky note, get out some paper, get out something, and write your vision down. Make it clear. Put it before you, so that way you can know that you set goals for this month, something that you want to achieve, something that is measurable. Right? What do you want to get done? And then go for it. Right? Lock in and go for it. Don't let yourself off the hook. Right? Because that's our common, that's a common kind of default for us as people. We'll default to, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it later. Don't give yourself that wiggle room. Get serious about what you want and then move in it. Right? Understand that from the very beginning, you're not going to have all the answers, and that's all right. You'll figure it out as you go. And one of the things I've been thinking about, to the moon and back, good evening. One of the things I was thinking about, and forgive me if I step on anybody's toes here, and I'm not going to say this to start some religious, religious battle or nothing like that. But one of the things that I noticed, I grew up in church. I'm pastor's son, generational pastor's kid, right? So my grandparents, my dad, my uncles. So I have a lot of people in my family that are pastors. And with that, I've been around church for a long time. And one of the things about church is oftentimes there's the conversation about life being changed. And on many levels, lives do change. But I noticed that in a lot of situations, while people would talk about spiritual change, a lot of times physical change would be a struggle. When it came down to hopes and dreams and aspirations and wanting to achieve something, I often found in the church circles that part was downplayed, right? You could change your life spiritually and really, begin loving people and caring for people and overcoming, anger and different things that are on the inside, right? But then when it came down to achievement and aspirations in life, it became almost like a negative. It would be like if you talked about wanting to be great in life or achieve or make a lot of money, then a lot of negativity would come in. And I just feel like I feel like people oftentimes are missing it, because how can you have the inside that's so great, but then your outside can't match up? I'm like, no, that's no good. And right, and as I read through the Bible for myself personally, I'm like, man, it doesn't make sense to me, because Jesus, right? We talk about Jesus. Jesus, he impacted people's physical lives. I was thinking about the story when he was hanging with some fishers, right? He was hanging with some fishermen, and they had been fishing all night, right? And they hadn't caught anything. And just hang with me here with this one. So they've been fishing all night, they hadn't caught anything. And then he says to them, all right, go back out. I want you to go back out. And he gives them new directions. He says, okay, he's like, cast your nets on the other side, fish on the other side, do it differently. Do what you've been doing, but we're going to do it differently. We're going to make some changes. And their lives changed, because when they were fishing that way in this story, they caught so much fish that they had to start calling over other people. And for me, I look at that and I'm thinking, that's pretty amazing, right? That their physical lives, their business, what they were doing went to another level because he gave them directions to actually impact them. And I don't know, this doesn't get talked about a lot, but there were a couple guys that were talking to Jesus, and I'm not making this a Bible study, so just don't take it that way. But there were a couple guys that were hanging with Jesus, and these guys, their mom, they said, well, can my one son sit on your right hand, the other sit on your left? Basically, what they were asking for were positions of authority, right? She was asking for positions of authority with her son. And they wanted to be great. And he said, well, let me tell you how to be great. The one that's going to be greatest of all is going to be your servant. So not only did Jesus not discourage greatness, he gave them the game plan for how to do it. He said, if you're going to be great, be a servant. The one that's going to be greatest is going to be the one that serves people, right? Like, and so for me, I look at it and I think, when I talk to you and when we share, I want you to know within from the depths of my heart that I believe that you have the capacity to be great because you have the capacity to serve. What does greatness look like for you? I don't know. Like, what does your capacity to serve look like? That's the bigger question. Because if greatness is a matter of service, are you serving at the capacity that you're able to serve at? Which takes us back to our visions, our dreams, and our aspirations, and what we want to accomplish in a month. Because guess what? If you can move your life forward in this month of being focused and dedicated in the month of April, what it's going to do is it's going to expand your capacity to serve. Why? Because you are accomplishing. You are growing. When you move forward and you accomplish and you decide, I'm going to do this, so I focus and I'm going to make this happen, your capacity begins to expand because of achievement. Your capacity expands because you say, I've achieved this. Now I can move on to achieve something even greater. And as you achieve, your capacity to impact others grows because now you have a story and you can share your encouragement and you can share your life. See, this is why it's so important that you don't get thrown off feeling like you are a failure, that you can't achieve, that your life means nothing, that you're no good. No, no, no. You have a huge purpose. Set your intention because your intentions will allow you to expand your life. Right? You're like we all, if I had some cups, like every cup has its capacity. They're all valuable. A teacup has its capacity. A keg has its capacity. Like everything has its capacity. And so your life is never about comparing against somebody else. Your life is to figure out, well, what's my capacity? Let me live out of this place. Let me serve out of this place. See, no matter what your capacity is, if you're filled up and you're in the right environment, you're going to meet the needs of that environment. Whatever it means. Like if that means your teaching ability or your artistic ability or your capacity to be a good friend, whatever it means, when you get filled up, when you're operating in your capacity, you're going to be able to impact lives. This is why your health is important. So you say, okay, yeah, I'm going to focus. I'm going to take care of my health. Why? Because that's a part of my capacity. We all have a measure of health given to us. So we get to do whatever we can do with it. We start asking ourselves, what do I have? Not what am I lacking? In this month, I encourage you, set your mindset on realizing what you have. Set your mindset on what you have. Bayabug asked a question. Any advice? My friend is suffering and dying, and I'm finding myself angry with God. Okay. That's a legitimate human reaction to be angry. There's a story about that in the Bible. There's stories of people that lost loved ones. One of the story that immediately came to mind for me was Job, who lost everything. His wife says, "Why don't you curse God and die?" Right? And Job had some moments where he wasn't always, he wasn't always feeling God. He wasn't. But then God asked some questions to him. He said, "Where were you? When I put the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky, where were you, Job?" Right? So like God gave Job a moment. He understands. God's not, and I know some people don't believe in God, but we're having this dialogue because you said it. Like God is not put off by the fact that we become angry. It's not like crushing God. I think God has the capacity to handle our anger. But then at the same time, what's given to us is, all right, I'm angry. So now let me work through this. You can be angry. The Bible actually talks about you can be angry and sin not. Right? Just because we're angry doesn't mean that we have to go down the road of sin and missing the mark. God understands the emotion of anger. But let me pose this to you, as challenging as it may be, and it may not be where you're at right now, but if you get into a place of gratitude, it can help. If you can get into a place of gratitude and not lose the moments being angry because your friend is in this process perhaps of transition, but being grateful. And if you're a praying person, you can get into that dialogue and conversation. And I would say, be honest, like, God, I'm angry about this. I don't want to lose this person. This person is special to me. This person has value to me. I love this person. This person has impacted my life. I love this person. And I'm angry with you because I don't want to be without them. And then at the same time, also saying, but I'm not going to focus on losing them while they're here. So while they're here, let me thank you for another moment. Let me thank you for another day. Let me at least acknowledge that they're still here. And while they're here, let me pray that you do something, right? In my life, like I've tried to, I've had to work through those angry moments, right? You got to work through those angry moments. And then, like, again, from the Bible perspective, I'm like, why? Hey, I might as well use this time to like knock on heaven's door to say, God, would you perhaps heal my friend? Would you bring healing? Would you bring I mean, if we're going to believe in the God of the universe, right? We're going to believe, we might as well go all in and then just start making some petitions, start making some requests like, hey, well, while you are God, look, will you heal my friend? Right? And I just, why not, right? Why not? If we have not because we ask not, why not just ask, right? And be grateful. And then we start to make a shift and we say, wait, I can, perhaps things can change. And obviously God is sovereign, and we're not the givers of breath. We're not the ones that extend it. We're not the ones that control it. But I just think sometimes in the midst of being angry, we miss some other opportunities. Right. And I think that would be my position, my position of advice. If there would be anything that I would say, like, in the midst of being angry, be angry, but don't get off the mark. Don't lose your faith. Don't lose your hope. Like, you can be angry and still be grateful. Right? You can be angry and still have hope. Doesn't mean you're not going to cry. Doesn't mean your heart will be broken. But if you have moments right now that you're being given, don't lose those moments thinking about your friend leaving, thinking about your friend not being here. If your friend is here, embrace every moment that you possibly have and take it all in and say, God, thank you. Thank you for another moment. Because that's what we're given. If we're given moments, let's be grateful for our moments. I had someone once tell me this as a thought. They said, what if tomorrow you only woke up and had the things that you express gratitude for today? What would you have tomorrow? If you only woke up and you had tomorrow everything that you were grateful for and thankful for today, what would you have tomorrow? And that was such an eye-opening statement, because it's almost easy for us to go through our lives and forget how much we're given, to the point that we're not grateful. And that was a game changer for me. If you think about that, like, wow, all right, so tomorrow, let me just start being grateful. Let me start being thankful, because whoo, I want this tomorrow. So thank you for life. Thank you for health. Thank you for strength. Thank you for friends. Thank you for, and you just, wait, thank you for my car. Thank you for being able to be on the internet. Thank you for this community. Thank you for my phones. Thank you for the cameras, right? You, you can spend the whole day just really being grateful, and it'll shift you. Doesn't mean that we don't feel other things. Just doesn't. But I realized something a long time ago. Like, even as I was going through divorce and some really heartbreaking situations, I said, the only reason that I feel that is because I had something in my life. What's up, Kim Brown? I miss seeing your face. So, right, sometimes we can complain about our house or our neighbors or all kinds of things. We can complain. But the only reason that we can complain is because we have something. Right? Even if you're hungry, you can only complain because you have an appetite. Right? So again, it goes back to this month. Hey, let's take what we have. Let's focus 100. Like, let's just make that our drive to focus on what we have. What is in your hands? What do you have? Not what do you lack? What do you have? Because if you can focus on what you have and turn that into something else, if you can take what you have and take a step with it. What do I have? Oh, I have some little chickens. Someone calls me. Will you bring them to my school? Yes, I'll bring them to your school. What I have now gives me an opportunity. Right? You might not feel your healthiest, but what do you have? You have a measure of health that you can do something with. Everything that we're holding right now, they're seeds. When we invest them and when we care for what we have, we get to take a step forward. We get to grow it. So it is growing season. Literally and figuratively, it is growing season. They're starting to put out plants and flowers, and it's growing season. I would encourage you, if you want to talk about really enhancing your relationship skills, we'll talk about this later this week. Grow something. Go grab a plant or something and grow something. And just get used to what it takes to care. It's one of the challenges that I give men when I'm working with men, especially young teenagers, young teenage boys, and they might be thinking about getting onto the dating scene and starting that thing. I'm like, before you try to go talk to a girl, grow something. Take care of a plant before you go try to take care of her life. Don't because it requires something. It requires you showing up. It requires you being mindful. It requires you knowing what nourishes. It requires you knowing. And if you can learn the relational skills, then you can apply them anywhere. So, all right, I got to go back and check on my little. See, you're laughing at me. Laughing at my teaching on growing a plant, but let me just tell you, it's pretty effective. But 27 years married, thank you for saying that you love my content. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go back and check on my little chickie that I accidentally hurt. So I'm going to make sure she's okay and see if I can. I don't know. She was like hobbling around, so she was moving. She's a little tough one. So, but I want to make sure she's good, and Like, I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to check on her, let her know that she's okay. At least she's in the safe spot. So let me get back to her, get back to cleaning out the barn. Um, One of the things, just as a heads up, I'll be making some adjustments because if right now I'm shooting and I'm broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and the capabilities that obviously I'm not like some huge studio. I'm not on like Oprah Winfrey level or nothing. So like shooting out of the barn is a little bit of a challenge. So there might be times that I'll go live from the barn only on one channel and I'll be able to share that way, but we'll be working that out. But let me know if those are things, like if that's something that you would like to be a part of, like sessions out of the barn and just connecting from a different atmosphere, a different environment, starting to get warmer, starting to stay lighter longer. So I would like to do that. I would like to have some sessions out of the barn and we can talk relationships and all that great stuff from the barn. But like I said, okay, yes, Susie who smiles. Okay, listen, I'm getting some. I would love that. So that would be cool. So we would be able to, do a lot of relationship talking from the barn. For those of you that aren't necessarily close enough to come hang out, and for those of you that are, listen, we're getting to hangout season now, where we hang out in the barn and we talk, talk barn talk relationship talk out of the barn, get the fire going, hang out around there and whatnot. So if you're ever in the area, let me know. And if you're not connected with the text message community, you can always go over to my YouTube channel, or I could show you. I could just show you. Some of these apps are funny. Hold on. So some of these apps are funny, and then they'll stop like showing your stuff, right? So here's the number, right? There it is. All right, so there's the number, right? So you can, write the number down and get connected with me that way. If you don't have that written down, just go over to the YouTube channel and my name is B.A. Shepherd on the YouTube channel, 2 P's, A-R-D, and get connected that way. So that way I can I'll send out a text and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go live in the barn. There you go, 26732. Yep. Thanks for posting that. So that way you're connected. When I send out a message, you can be a part of the loop because that's the most direct way for me to let people know, right? So these are things that are going to be happening. Like I said, I definitely want to see some of your faces in the place in the days ahead. I want to hang out with you. I want to share and have coaching sessions with you and really do that. So it's the season for it. So let's make it happen. Let's work through it. Morgan says, how are you feeling after your surgery? Doing fantastic. And I'm actually finally getting back to wanting to start training, right? So I've been really hesitant about like working out because I don't know, I just don't want to mess up anything on the inside, right? I don't want anything going wrong. So I'm going to actually start easing back into exercising and training. I'll probably document and share some of that. Some of you may have seen that I actually built inside the barn. I have my gym set up in the barn. I took one of the stalls and I completely redid it with my weights. And if I didn't, I'll post that tomorrow. But I redid it with my weights so that I could start training in there. And it's twofold because those people that I work with, I use health and wellness as a part of relationship building. So you'll see some stuff. I'll share some stuff that will be practical for relationships as well as just health purposes, from the barn. So thank you for asking. But like I said, I'm going to go back out and go treat my little chickie, make sure she's okay, make sure that she's in a position where she can eat and be safe, and kind of isolate her a little bit so she doesn't have to worry about the other girls running her over. All right. So we're going to shut it down for the night. But of course, I want to pray for you. So I'm glad some of you like that. And hope that you, like I say, you don't have to believe what I believe. It's a way when I believe prayer is a way of expressing a conversation to the one that you know has more power than you. And so while I can talk and encourage you, in my personal life, I believe in God. I believe that there's a greater power that can hear prayers and cause things to happen where the hands of humans cannot go. And so I like to encourage you that way. So if you don't mind, hang out, let me pray for you, and we'll shut it down. Father, thank you for this day that you've made. Thank you for the opportunities that you have given for us to be together and the encouragement of one another. Thank you for the power of one another. That each and every person that's been here watching, whether live or on replay, their life matters. They are a person of value, and their presence has made a difference. I pray that each and every person that can hear me right now knows that they do indeed matter, that they being here has not only touched my life, but has touched the lives of those that are around them on these social media platforms. That their name scrolling past, or the comment that they left, or the reaction that they gave, it made a difference. Their presence was felt. And so I thank you for the moments of time that they gave to this moment where we were all together. Thank you for enriching each of our lives with the presence of one another. I pray that now that we have kicked off this month of April, that we would move forward with an aggressive mindset to grow, that we would move forward with an aggressive mindset to realize what we possess, what we have in our hands, what we are capable of, and that we do something with it. I pray strength would rise. I pray hope would rise. I pray comfort to those whose hearts might be unsettled. I pray peace for those that might be experiencing stress or anxiety. I pray that the chains of depression be broken and hope would conquer and rule and reign. I pray that love would rule. I pray that love would reign. I pray that love would open doors. I pray that love would be our guiding light. And I pray that each and every person that can hear me now would find peace as they go to rest, whenever point they do. That they would be refreshed and restored so that they can move forward and do whatever their mission is, whatever their assignment is, whatever they're called to do, that they can do it with their full strength and that they can enjoy life as they do it. I pray blessings upon each one and thank you in advance for what is happening and what will happen. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everybody. You all have a fantastic evening. I appreciate you hanging out. I look forward to hanging out this week. Remember, every day, take some action that moves you forward. That's it. You don't have to win the whole race. Take some action that moves you forward. You can do that. I believe in you. I look forward to hearing about the great things that are happening in your life. Tomorrow, we'll check in. I'm going to ask, did you take action? So take some action so you can show up and celebrate by saying yes. All right. I love you much. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2 P's, A-R-D, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. See ya.